The Karamja Jungle, a place where most players come to complete a few quests or access the Brimhaven dungeon and then leave. But my account, it has no reliable way of getting anti-poisons, and it doesn't have the prerequisites for the quests, meaning there's no bank. And we're stuck here, as with our rule set, we can't leave, until our once per hour chunk roll lets us, because we're playing Snake in RuneScape, moving around the map, one chunk at a time. We have an hour to complete as many things as possible before the snake is going to randomly move forward, left or right. If we can complete all the challenges in a chunk before the time is up, the snake grows, giving us more area to play with. Join me as we work towards the first goal of the account, unlocking the Champions Guild. This is SnakeScape. Last time on SnakeScape, we started in Port Sarim, unlocking fishing for the very first time. We then went to Rimington, where we managed to get a really good fletching and money-making method. We then rolled into Melzar's Maze, where the story started to sound awfully familiar. We then went on to North Brimhaven, yet again stepping onto Karamja before we'd even left. And then disaster struck, and we rolled into the Karamja Jungle. That's where you join me now. Welcome back. The head of the snake is currently in the North Tai Bwo Wannai chunk, and the tail of the snake is just coming off of Melzar's Maze. And we are now officially stuck in the jungle for a while. The reason we're stuck down here is because this is the only chunk which is the entrance and exit of this area, as we don't have a grapple hook at the moment. So we're going to be in here until the snake gets back out of this choke point. In this chunk, there's not that much unique stuff. There's a shop here which sells anti-poisons, which I'm going to really need to stock up on. But other than that, the entirety of this jungle is not really useful. There's nothing in here. When we're in the chunk picker, I'll explain what each chunk kind of adds, but this is going to be a very, very rough, I don't know how many hours. But we still have 3 hours before we're cut off from Brimhaven. So I think what I'm going to do is, while we still have access to the charter ship and cost-effective food, I'm going to kill pirates and try and get my melee stats as high as possible, because we might end up having access to the Brimhaven dungeon, and if that's the case, we'll be able to kill giants, and I really want to be able to do that, but at the moment they're a bit too hard for me, so I think 3 hours of melee training should hopefully get us up a little bit higher. Anyway, let's jump in the game and give it a shot. Okay, well, here goes nothing. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's quickly go have a look at what this shop sells. I can't quite remember the full list. I know anti-poisons are on here. Yeah, they're here. But are there anything else that will be actually kind of useful? Because I have a hammer, I could technically work on my smithing. But I don't think I'm going to do that. There's no use for it at the moment. Let's run back up. One thing I really do want to do is, one, use the pineapples to kill pirates, but the other thing is I want to try and complete that medium diary task of killing a spider and then cooking it on a stick. I'm going to have to quickly run back to the Melzar's Maze chunk to grab some arrow shafts and grab some logs to make a fire. And let's see if we can kill one of these spiders. Give it a better shot than last time. Okay, and that only took 3 pineapples, which really isn't that bad. If I use this on this, there's a spider on a stick. And then I use this on this, and there's the medium task completed. That's really cool. So we're able to get that completed. Let's try killing some pirates now. Okay, these are not doing much damage to me at all. So this is actually going to be quite a good training method, I think. Yo, look at this fashion scape. Holy shit. That's me out of pineapples. Let's go sell this rubbish at the general store down here, and then I'm gonna get back to killing. Okay, and that is gonna be time up. Let's jump in the chunk picker and see where into the jungle we go first. Welcome back to the chunk picker. So the snake is currently facing into Tai Bwo Wannai. We were able to complete one task in this chunk, which was to complete the diary task of cooking a spider on a stick. Other than that, we haven't been able to complete anything. We've just been training our melees up in preparation for going into this jungle. Speaking of the jungle, there's quite a few interesting things in the jungle. Most stuff is really difficult to do, as we're going to need a way of getting trading sticks to be able to do things, which the only way of doing that is by killing tribespeople. And tribespeople only have a 1 in 5 drop, and they deal poison damage at 11 poison. So unless I keep access to this general store, it's not going to be very feasible. But depending on where we roll, it might be worth doing for the next chunk. The chunks the snakes left only really includes the hardwood forest, which requires 100 trading sticks to get into, but gives us access to teak and mahogany, which would be good for woodcutting experience, but not really for anything else. I don't have the fire making requirement to actually gain fire making experience from either of them, so this chunk is kind of a dud until later. To the right, we have a chunk with monkeys in it. These would be good for melee training, and they don't deal poison damage, so that's what I'm going to do if I end up here. This chunk down here also has monkeys in it, but specifically has a farming requirement. Because of the patches up here, we're going to have to be able to do poison ivy, which would be very, very annoying. In the middle, we have a mining chunk. This will be quite useful. I'll have to drop all of the mine stuff on the ground, but we'll be able to do some power mining for a while, just to get our mine level up. We're going to eventually need 90 anyway to be able to do a full-size shooting star. You know, this will be good. We can train an hour of that, assuming we don't get poisoned by everything when we're there. The chunk just ahead of the snake is really good. It has fishing in it, which we can do with Karamjas. I think that's how you pronounce it. And so we could just spend an hour fishing, which will be quite nice and chill. In front of that is Carin Isle, which as far as I can see is the only chunk with normal trees in it, as it has some dead trees, which means we'll be able to work towards the fire making requirement, which will unlock the hardwood. Other than that, the rest of these chunks don't have anything in them. Shiloh Village is locked behind the quest, and the start of that quest is in the chunk to the right. So neither of these will be unlockable. Which means that of all of these chunks, nothing is really unlockable. One other thing to mention is there is the Brimhaven dungeon, but getting down there is going to be a real pain. And I don't really know whether I'm going to even be able to survive going down there. But that's kind of the outline of all of the threats that we have ahead of us. The snake's going to have to get all the way in here before we can even think about getting out again. Let's see where we're going. And we go left towards the melee chunk. With this chunk, the only thing that we can do is kill a Joker in the pothole dungeon for the diary task. So I'm going to attempt this, but if it doesn't work, I'm going to head back and I'm going to continue killing pirates. Let's jump in the game and get to it. Right, editing Bushy here. So just to save us having to jump into the chunk picker and back into the game a bunch of times, I'm going to tell you where the snake goes for the next 9 hours. And this will make sense in just a second. So the snake goes here, then 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 here. So one thing you'll notice about all of these chunks is there's basically nothing to do other than melee in them. So that's kind of what I do for the next 9 hours. The first 2 I spend killing pirates in Brimhaven. The second 2 I spend killing Jokers down in the porthole dungeon. The next 4 I spend killing monkeys and then tribesmen. And the very last one I kill Jokers again in the jungle. And then we end up on Carin Isle where stuff actually changes up. So enjoy the next 9 hours of me killing stuff in one big supercut. And while I'm still here, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really, really helps the channel out. Anyway, back to the video. Let's get through it. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, let's run over. And actually, there's one thing that I haven't mentioned yet. If I dig here, aha, the clue trousers. They are not very useful whatsoever, but they are a chunk task. So that is a chunk task completed. So I just had a quick look at the drop table of the Jokers, as we do need to kill one in that dungeon. So, and they do drop trading sticks, which is a really, really useful drop. So I might try killing a few of them with some pineapples. Again, I know that pineapples aren't the most effective food, but they're the most cost-effective food. So I'm going to try that out. I think I'm going to buy 10 bread and take those with me. They're not as dense as pineapples, but I really can't be able to run over there now. I'm just too low on run energy. Let's try and kill one of these Jokers. Jesus Christ, that thing just hit a 5. This is going to be very slow. And unfortunately, these guys don't drop long or curved bones, which is a bit of a shame. I do want to get those drops at some point. They're like iconic for all chunkmen. And there we go, that is the diary task completed. I don't think I'm going to continue doing this. That took way too long. I think it's time to go back to the pirates and keep beefing ourselves up to prepare ourselves for deeper jungle excursions. If we had Druidic Ritual completed, we would have been able to do all the quests down there, which would have been so much better, and there is 35 strength. I think I'm going to swap back over to attack now, just because I don't think another max hit is going to be for a very long time. Yo, more FashionScape. Let's go. Oh man. If we were anywhere near the Cook's Guild, that'd be useful. But we are not. So alas. And there is 35 attack. So now I think I'm going to stick with attack, because each individual attack level is going to give me a bit more of a boost of accuracy, whereas strength is not going to be useful until we hit 40. Defense I'm not really too worried about, just because what I'm probably going to spend my time doing in the jungle is flinching Jogers more than anything else, at least until we have a decent amount of the sticks. So I think strength is going to be on the back burner for a little bit. Let's just continue with attack. Okay, because there's not that much time left, I'm not going to go back to pirates. I'm just going to try and kill a few more Jogers. I'll try and kill one more Joger in the cave down here. See if I can do it within 5 minutes. What on earth? Okay, right, I got a Giles. I feel like I didn't have random events for such a long time, and I've got 3 in the last like 2 hours. The kebab. It's really not that bad. Useful for this. This is just a stunt on everyone in leagues. After this kill, I need to remember to go and buy a bunch more anti-poisons, because I do not want to leave the last chunk without having a bunch more. Right, I bought a few more anti-poisons. I might go back and grab some more in a bit, but I think I'm just going to use some bread and keep flinching these Jogers. This is taking a very long time. I've only gotten 4 kills so far, and that is about halfway. I've only been able to kill 6 so far in this hour. This is going to be so slow. Okay, this might be a little bit overkill, but I'm going to give killing tribespeople a shot after this. So, you know, they're going to be used. They're definitely going to be used. These kills are taking me maybe 10 minutes at the moment. I feel like that last one was pretty quick. I got lucky on a load of hits. But yeah, if we can get 10 again in this hour, I'll be happy. And there's 35 hit points. Man, the XP is so slow down here. It's like 3,000 maybe an hour. It's awful. Now that I've just passed 38 attack, I think I will swap back to strength, because now that I've got monkeys to attack, it's going to be much quicker to level up. So I'm going to swap over to strength to try to get strength to 40. Now we have over 100 trading sticks. That means that if we get to Carin Isle, we can train our fire making up to 35. And then when we go to the Hardwood Grove, we'll then be able to chop the trees there to get more fire making experience, which will be pretty useful. It'll make a good chunk out of one that's currently kind of rubbish. Ooh, some super anti-poisons. That's kind of useful. If we can get a drop of super anti-poisons, get a few more of those, then I'll be happy kind of staying here doing this for a while, because these last 6 minutes a dose, which is really good. No. Oh my god, I keep hitting the Windows key instead of the Alt key. So I just tabbed out when I just got poisoned then. That was pretty scary. Hey, some more super anti-poisons. Perfect. I'm going to hold a Monkey Paw just in my inventory, not because I want to hold onto it, but because it stops them from dropping them. And it's just been really annoying having to right click to pick up the bones every single time. Very first world problem, I know. So my strategy for this chunk so far has been running down and grabbing 2 of the Burberry specials, then running up, taking a anti-poison, killing tribespeople until I'm about half HP, then running back, rinsing and repeating. I think it's kind of effective. I worked through 4, 5 pots of anti-poison so far, and I do think this is worth it, because these guys do actually drop a best in slot for me, the Mithril Spear. And they drop trading sticks. So I think I'm just going to kind of hunt these. I'm going to keep going until I have 6 anti-poison 4s left. And 37 strength, which is quite a big one, because now with the cocktail, that actually moves me up to 40 boosted. So I get an extra max hit, which will bring my DPS up quite substantially. Nice, we just got 62 trading sticks from that kill. So we're now well over 200, which is exactly where I want to be. Still have to kill them for the Mithril Spear, so I'm going to keep taking some of these, killing monkeys while I wait for my health to respawn. Keep taking these, wait for my health to regen, and kill monkeys in the meantime. It might seem really silly, but I'm going to swap to defense, because I'm much further behind in it than the rest of them. I'm at 38 in both of these and just 30 in defense. I'm kind of hoping that if I get my defense up a little bit, then it means I'll take less damage when killing tribesmen. Ooh, Quizmaster. You know what? No, I need to bail. Hi. Quizzy dude, let's talk to you. I would love to play. Stelp. Oh! Yo! That's big. Holy. That's actually such a big upgrade. Oh, that's so good. I can actually drop this now. It's not stab, but that is actually a really good upgrade. Should do a load more damage. I just put it through a DPS calc, and the Mithril Scimitar increases my DPS by like 13%. It's actually insane. So, fun fact, the Mithril Scimitar is actually now my best in slot. It beats out the Mithril Spear, which means that I no longer have to kill tribespeople. I have the trading sticks I want, and I really can't be bothered to put up with their poison damage. So I think I'm just going to stick to killing monkeys. And there's 25 prayer. So slow to get that up, but I'm not that far away. We need, what, 37? So we're at a quarter of the way there, I think. And there's 45 combat. Oh man, these monkeys are a kind of a pain in the ass to kill. They keep running away, they run so fast. So like catching up with them is just a pain. Luckily, I mean, the agility levels that I have are coming in so clutch now. Being able to run with my armor on and not really run out of run at any point is just incredible. So I'm super glad that we spent a few hours doing that a while ago. I have fallen off that bloody stepping stone every single time I've tried to cross it. Ridiculous. And there's 40 strength. I'm going to swap to defense. I think I'm going to get defense 35, then attack to 40, and then defense up to 40. Just, it seems a bit silly, but that's probably the best way to do it. And there is a total level of 500. Very nice and clean. I think we'll swap back to attack. As I said before, because I'm flinching, defense doesn't really matter that much. So if I can get even one level, it'll make these kills go faster. Okay, that first kill only took like 3 minutes, which is like over double the speed of the previous ones. So we hopefully will be able to get quite a few kills in this hour. And the spawn's right there. Oh, this is so much better. This is really good. Let's try and get as many Joker kills as we can. Can someone please explain to me why Jokers don't drop long and curved bones? Like, loads of other things seem to do the same, but not Jokers. They seem like, you know, the right size, the right kind of builds to drop them. But they just don't, which would make this grind like a lot more interesting if they did drop them. And we crossed 10,000 prayer experience. It's going to be so long till I get overheads. This would be so much easier with level 43. It's, guess we're just going to have to go back to flinching. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is the wrong time for a lag spike. Oh no. Oh. I'm alive. Am I alive? Okay, I'm alive. I was so concerned there that I was going to re-establish connection and then just be dead and had to run all the way back here. That was very lucky. Nice, and there's 300 trading sticks, which is another entry into the woodcutting area. if we ever get back up there again. At the moment, it just feels like I'm going to be stuck in the jungle forever. There is no escape. Brilliant. A super strength potion. That is fantastic. That's literally the reason I was carrying a snapdragon around for this entire time. Okay, well, that's really good. I will need to pick up another one the next time we're there, but that is brilliant. I want to collect as many of those as I can. I have a few more snapdragons in the bank from the agility arena, so I'll replace it when we get there. And here we are in the Carin Isle chunk. This is the first chunk in about 10 hours where melee hasn't been the only thing that we can do, because this chunk has dead trees in it, which lets us work on our woodcutting, and more specifically our fire making. Getting 35 fire making is really important for the hardwood grove that's up north, so I want to work on that while I'm in this chunk and I have access to them. In this chunk there's not much else to do. There's a diary task which is to cross the bridge, which you might notice from the b-roll I've already done by accident. So there's not much else that we need to achieve. Let's jump in the game and get to some woodcutting. Yep, these are the dead trees I'm going to work on. There's also a hobgoblin which is in here. These guys drop trading sticks at a much higher rate and they're really easy to kill relative to the jogers. So I might try killing a couple of them. But let's start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, help me start the timer. I think my strat is going to be do a lap of all the dead trees, burn them, and then kill the hobgoblin while I wait for them to respawn. Ooh, potato seeds. These are actually the first seeds that I'll actually be able to grow if I ever get around. So these are really useful to hold on to. And there is 40 attack. I'm going to swap over to defense and we'll get to base 40s. And there's 35 defense. And that's time up. I'll finish this kill off and then we can jump in the jump picker to move forward by one. We're only 16 logs away from 35, so that means in the next hour we're definitely going to be able to get that done, and then we can move on to fishing, which will be super cool. Let's jump in and move around. And here we are. So in that chunk we were able to tick off 2 things. The 32 agility requirement to do the rock slide climb, that was already completed. And with that we were able to complete the easy diary task of going over the bridge. So that is both of the things that were inside of this chunk that we can currently do unlocked. From here, the snake's currently facing west into the Carin Isle chunk, so we can only go north into the bottom of Tai Bwo Wannai. Let's move these along and generate the tasks and jump in the game. And here we are in the south Tai Bwo Wannai chunk. In this chunk, there'd be a load of stuff to do normally, as this chunk has access to the Brimhaven dungeon. But we can't get in there until we give Bannisoch 5,000 trading sticks, which we're probably not going to be able to achieve in the 4 hours that we have here. This chunk has access to some fishing spots, which I really want to utilise. I think that getting my fishing up is going to be quite useful and it's going to be quite chill. Doing a lot of melee in these last few chunks has kind of drained me, so I kind of want to just chill out, do a bit of fishing, and kill more of the hobgoblins which spawn here, and try and get as many trading sticks as we can. But of course, before then, we've got to finish up our 35 fire making. Let's jump in the game and get to it. Right, let's get to it. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's finish up the fire making and then we'll start some fishing. One thing that was really annoying in this last chunk, if I chop down this tree and click the next one over here, it'd run me this way around and the chunk boundary was just here. So I needed to keep running the long way around to get to this tree, which now that we have the next chunk unlocked, makes it so much easier. Only 12 more to go. And with this should be 35 fire making, which will let us burn teak logs. So that's going to be very, very useful. Now that we have a couple hundred trading sticks as well, I'm going to save them all up for going to the hardwood grove, just in case. Let's do a bit of fishing, and while we do that, I still want to kill hobgoblins. If we do start going in loops, I feel like we're going to eventually get to 5,000. So, making some progress towards that would be pretty good. Ah, this is lovely and chill. So my plan is I wait until my HP is back to full, go fight a couple of hobgoblins, and then come back to fishing. the Karamja Wannai are not going to be super useful now, but I feel like having a large stack of them for in the future, once we've been able to complete the quests which unlock Karamja Wannai, could be really good, because that's going to unlock kind of a very good food, which we can use with sharks. So I think it's going to be worthwhile doing. Okay, I'm going to finish this random event, then the timer will be up, so we'll jump into the chunk picker. And here we are. The snake's currently facing north at a Tai Bwo Wannai, so we can either go straight forwards, getting us one chunk away from being able to escape the jungle, or it will turn to its right and go onto the mining chunk. We weren't able to complete anything on this list as most of the stuff requires the dungeon, which we can't have access to just yet. So, without further ado, let's roll. Oh, okay. North Tai Bwo Wannai. This is really good. This is really, really good. We take away the Karamja Jungle, and we are now a 50-50 shot away from being able to escape the jungle. Let's calculate the tasks and jump in the game. So this is the chunk we actually started the game in, so it doesn't really need any introduction. And we are just one chunk away from escaping out of here again. But there's only a 50% chance of that happening. This has already been a really long episode in terms of chunks, but I've got one more in me. I really, really want to see whether we get out of here or not on a first try. So, let's start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm going to go sort out my inventory, sell some stuff, and then I think I'm going to continue fishing. Okay, I think I've had a change of heart. I actually kind of want to utilise the bronze bars which they're sold here and the hammer. Just because I want to make bronze arrowheads, because fletching is going to be such a pain in the ass that I feel like investing into it now will be really useful. So I think I'm going to do that for this hour. Let's give it a shot. So I'm thinking this is kind of like almost like a triple win. I'm working on some early smithing, which I'm going to need to do eventually. I'm getting fletching experience from when I turn these arrow tips into arrows, and then I'll have a load of bronze arrows to train archery with later. So I think it's going to be kind of a win-win-win. And there's level 10 smithing. Getting a decent amount of XP doing this. This probably isn't the most efficient use of my time, but it is something quite unique. I haven't done any smithing yet, so I'm quite happy to do this just for an hour. We've made just over 1,000 arrowheads in 15 minutes. If we can get about 4,000 arrowheads by the end of this, that's like almost 6,000 fletching experience. And there's 15 smithing. I am thoroughly enjoying this right now. Ask me again in maybe half an hour. Thinking about it even more, this is actually even better because cost per fletching experience, this is significantly better than buying even feathers. Because feathers are 2 gold per 1 feather when buying the packs, and 1 feather is 1 fletching experience. A single bronze bar is 12 coins in this shop, and that turns into 15 arrowheads, which turns into about 20 experience. So the cost per XP is under half. So the cost per experience is like significantly better than buying feathers. So this is actually really worthwhile doing. And there's 20 smithing. I'm going to keep doing this just for the last 10 minutes, try and get above. This is already over 6,000 fletching experience, which is really, really good. And with that, time is up. So let's see if we're going to be able to escape the jungle on our very first attempt. Let's jump in the chunk picker. And here we are. The snake's currently facing north, having the option to either go into Brimhaven and escape the jungle, or turn right into the Hardwood Grove chunk, which, after 12 hours of being in the jungle so far, I don't particularly fancy having to do another loop. We were able to work on our smithing and fletching in that chunk, so I thought that was a really good hour. So, there's nothing to tick off. We have a 50-50 shot. Either we go to Brimhaven, or we spend more time in the jungle. Let's have a see where we're going next. Looks like we haven't escaped the jungle just yet. We lose access to Shiloh Village. And here we go again. It took 12 hours for us to get to that first attempt to leave the jungle. I wonder how many hours it's going to be until we're there again. Let's jump in the game and have a look. Man, that feels pretty rough. We were so close to being able to escape. But I guess the chunk picker has determined that we haven't spent enough time in the Karamja Jungle. At least now, we have over 800 trading sticks. So we're going to be able to utilise the hardwood grove over here for the next hour. And we should be able to get some pretty decent fire making experience. I would love to try and get to 60 in the next 4 hours. That would be probably a pretty big push, but I think it'll be really worthwhile. But I think I'm going to leave that for the next episode. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, a like would be really appreciated, and a subscription would be amazing. SnakeScape is stuck in the jungle, and I don't know how long we're going to be here. See you next time. Goodbye.